Hey everybody, I'll give you a minute to join in. That'll give me a minute to share it. I'm going to share it back to my page. Okay. Hello everybody, it's Uncle Grumpy. Welcome to Grumpy Tonight, back where we started. If you guys remember, this flag was what I was sitting in front of a year ago when we were talking before 788 passed. First, before we get started, I need to thank my sponsors, and the reason why is because if I didn't have any sponsors, I wouldn't be able to go back and forth to the Capitol. So I want to ask you guys to support the people that help support me. So in that case, I want to thank the Greens Bakery in Muskogee, Sweet Leaf Health Center in Bartlesville, Canna Law Group in Oklahoma City, and Max's Garage in Muskogee. I want to thank all of them for helping me. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be doing this because I wouldn't be able to. So thank you all. Again, support the sponsors that help support us. All right. I posted in the top here what this is about. This is about this letter right here, and I want to thank Lawrence Pasternak for helping come up with this today. Lawrence and I worked on this earlier. This is what we'd like you to send to the senators. Now, there's a spot here at the top. You can put your senator's name. There's a spot at the bottom. You can put your name. You need to start by sending this to your senator. This is about, 2612, the Skinnity bill. We all know there's serious problems with this thing, and unfortunately most of them we were told would be dealt with before it got this far, and now we're all working cleanup. That's unfortunate, and I think the Senate is not going to help us if we don't get on the phones and get active in engaged with the Senate right away. They have been less favorable than the House on this whole thing from the beginning, and if we think we don't like it now, I don't think it's going to change much when they get done with it unless we can force them to. So this letter addresses some of the things that we found wrong with it. I'm not going to read you the whole letter. It's posted here. You guys can read it. But I'll tell you some of what it addresses. It addresses your doctors being able to find out if you have a cannabis card or a medical marijuana card. Not just the doctor who wrote the recommendation, but any doctor you have. So it addresses that. It addresses this safety sensitive jobs, because we all know the way this reads. They may have taken the McDonald's worker out of there, but they clearly didn't hear us when we said this was way too broad, because this includes, the way they have it written, just about every trade there is out there. So if you use a power tool or watch a child or assist in any care of anybody or do anything relevant in life, you'll be subject to being fired if you ever test positive for THC. Now, this language is familiar. And when you guys read, if you read 2612, when you read that part, I want you to see if you remember it from where I remember it. This was the language used by a lady from the Chamber of Commerce that spoke last year during the weekly circus, the Joint Commission. She was part of the Reefer Madness crowd. She wants any and all employers to be able to fire you if you've ever consumed cannabis anytime. So it's ridiculous. It really is. It needs to be addressed. The safety sensitive jobs, there might be a couple jobs on there that are relevant, and I don't necessarily think they're relevant, but we're going to have to give in a few spots. So there's a couple in there we might have to give on, but this is such a broad overreach. This takes out 75% of the patients currently holding cards. This is insane. So between the doctors finding out you have your card and dropping you if you're a pain management patient or an oncologist. If your doctor's an oncologist and they're not okay with you using cannabis, then they're going to find out and they're going to drop you. So the ones that are the worst off are going to suffer the worst. And then the rest that have jobs but need it, not necessarily maybe for life and death, but to function like everybody else, like myself. If I worked one of these jobs, I would be at risk of being fired. So who's left? Who's left? Problems, big problems. Third, this addresses the tax issue. If this goes through the way they want it, we're going to have the highest taxes on medication in the country. Once again, Oklahoma makes first in something that we should be ashamed of, not something to be proud of. We're first in incarceration. That is a disgrace. We all need to get involved in fixing, and this is not something we need to add to that list on. We do not need to be first in the highest taxes on medication. So that, I think, and then last, the seed to sale. Now think about this. Seed to sale tracking. We've been running without seed to sale for 6 months and no one's had any real issues with it. Nobody said a word. Everything's been fine. They didn't want a special session. They wanted things to run like this. Now they want you all to go out and spend money on seed to sale. What? Maybe 12 months, 18 on the outside before the federal government makes it legal. So if seed to sale is about tracking diversion to other states, and that's why states do it, is they agree with the states next to them that aren't legal, that, hey, we don't want ours to cross into your state, so we'll do seed to sale. That's the excuse. But how much money are we as a state going to invest in protecting, say, Texas or Arkansas as they work on rolling out their own programs? Texas not yet, but they'll get there. Missouri, they're not on board, or they're not rolling yet, but they're on board. So, I mean, who are we protecting? And what is it worth to us as a state to do this for, what, 18 months max? So that's 4 issues. You guys may have some others. That's great. Let us know about those. Let your senators know about that. But we can all, if you're not sure what to say, okay, we can all copy and paste this or print this, hand deliver it if you can, send it in an email, call tomorrow after you send it in an email and read it to the PA or his assistant, okay? Make sure they know that you sent this, that you're their constituent, that you voted for them or may have the option to vote for them next time, and how they handle this may help you in determining that, because after all, they're supposed to represent us. So it's time to represent us. So that's it. There's a letter. I posted it. If you need anything else, I will post. I'll put the link. If Norma hasn't yet, I'll put the link on here to look up your senators. It's not that hard. It's oklahomalegislators.gov, I think. But I'll put the link on here. If you guys need any help figuring it out, who it is, let me know. Let's get these printed. Let's get these copied and pasted, sent in email. Tomorrow when they get there, their phones and their email need to be overrun with this letter. If we all do this, they will listen. Between patient card holders and businesses, we have who are causing real chaos to our program. So let's all get involved. Send this letter. Again, call up tomorrow, follow up, let them know it was you. Okay, folks. Again, I want to thank my sponsors, because if I didn't have any, I wouldn't be able to do this. So thank you to the Greens Bakery in OKC, Sweet Leaf Health Center in Bartlesville. Sorry about that. Looks like we lost connection for a minute, but I didn't hang up. All right. Again, thank the sponsors. Support the people that support us. Send your letter tonight in email. Call in the morning and follow up. And that's it for tonight. Stay grumpy, and I'll see you on the road.